This morning, two teenagers are hurt after a shooting last night in the Chicago Loop. Police say the 16 and 17-year-old boys were standing in a large crowd near Washington and State when they were shot. A large police presence could be seen as officers work to clear large crowds from downtown. And new video into our newsroom shows more of last night's chaos. People were seen kicking passing cars, crowding the streets, dancing on top of parked vehicles. And we're still waiting to find out and hear if police made any arrests from this last night. Earlier in the day yesterday, a viewer shared cell phone video showing a group of people jumping on a car that is driving along Michigan Avenue. Now, this is all coming nearly a year after a 16-year-old was shot and killed at Millennium Park near the Bean. In response, the city issued a 6 p.m. curfew at Millennium Park for all minors under the age of 18. That's in addition to the 10 p.m. curfew that is for all minors in the city.
We was just talking about Chicago. Chicago is going through some things. And I was going to go live yesterday because I thought maybe the new mayor would have came out with some discourse condemning this violent and just craziness of teenagers just running around crazy, acting like a bunch of animals. But no, he didn't come out with a statement that makes any sense. The new mayor-elect chose to say this about Chicago. He said, "In no way do I condone the destructive activity we saw in the Loop and Lakefront this weekend. It is unacceptable and has no place in our city. However, it is not constructive to demonize youth who have otherwise been starved of opportunities in their community. Our city must work together to create spaces for youth to gather safely and responsibly under adult guidance and supervision." Where are these kids' mamas at and daddies? I mean, I don't understand that. Why is it up to the whole city to raise these kids? And look, I'm old school too. So it does take a village to raise the child, but the main responsibility for children is the parent. And this mayor is talking about creating more social programs. Is that really the problem in Chicago? More social programs? For them to, and we're talking about kids. Teenagers that don't respect people, they don't respect people property, and they think it's okay for them to do that because we have a mayor and the previous mayor. Oh, it's okay. They've been starved on other activities. And if you go into Chicago, and I'm saying this because I used to live in Chicago, if you go into these neighborhoods, like in the 80s and 90s, gang violence was bad in Chicago. You couldn't wear certain colors. It's probably still like that now, but gangs were more constructive, I guess if you want to call it. They didn't just wreak havoc everywhere, but they were territorial. But now it's just whatever goes. It's the wild, wild west. Whatever goes, you could do it. You could tear people's cars up. You could walk on the street kicking the car. Y'all see that little girl? She walking in the street and she kicked somebody's car while they was driving. Who does that kind of stuff? But you got a mayor that they just elect because of the severe violence in Chicago. They had a runoff and they elect this guy, and he's just as progressive as the lady that they got rid of, Lightfoot, Mayor Lightfoot. This is one aspect of my comprehensive approach to improve public safety. No, to improve public safety, you have to have police enforcement. And police enforcement, okay, you don't like white people, so hire some black folks. I mean, come on now. If they don't like, but Chicago is a melting pot, so they can't just say, oh, you're policing our children and they don't look like us. Okay, so hire some black people, but you got to give them support. Me and my sister had a great debate yesterday in regards to kids acting crazy like they do. And if I tell you some of the stories that I've been through, and I'm very fortunate that I turned out the way I turned out. Very fortunate. My mom did what she knew what to do. My dad knew what to do, or what he knew to do. And literally, I grew up in a one-parent home. But my mom said, you better be home by such and such a clock, or 9 o'clock, or before the street lights come on. I know you guys know that saying, before the street lights come on. We bet not come home after the street lights, even if she ain't there. We was like literally terrified if we came home. We were terrified of my mom if we came home after the street lights was on. We didn't really have supervision either. We did whatever we wanted to do, but we weren't doing this kind of stuff. So our debate was, oh, nature over nurture. And I think my sister was basically saying product of your environment. Okay, you're a product of your environment, but do you just go off and start burning cars down? Is that an excuse? You burn cars down. One guy was assaulted. I'm going to give you this. I found this on Twitter. They was jumping on his car. They beat the old guy up, and he had to go to the hospital. So nature over nurture. And I can't agree with that's just your natured response. Oh, so black people just ignorant and just stupid. They don't know how they just act like wild animals. Is that what we're saying? And I believe Democratic parties believe that. They actually believe, oh, they don't know no better. They don't know right from wrong. Hey, type in the chat if you don't agree with me. Type in the chat. Let me know. Black people don't know right from wrong. We just a bunch of wild people running around, stealing shit, destroying people's property, but because we don't know right from wrong, because of white supremacy. I'm a product of my environment. I'm doing very well. Like I said, we didn't literally, my brothers and my sister, we didn't have supervision. Back then, you didn't get in trouble for leaving your kids by themselves. You didn't get in trouble. Parents wasn't going to jail for that, for child endangerment. So I just don't understand. Lack of supervision. Okay, so we're just gonna say, oh, these kids don't have supervision. That's why they acting like they do. Oh, there's no more social programs. There's schools. A teacher can't even say anything to a child without getting beat up. Or their parents coming to the school without getting their ass kicked. Oh, you say something to my kid and they want to fight you because you said something to your kid. Kids don't have no respect for authority or anything like that. So nature over nurture. Mike Sherman said they're going to have to get the National Guard. Yeah. They are. Oh, and another thing I want to point out, and I was saying this to my sister. We grew up in Chicago. Chicago have zones that you know not to go in because they are very prejudiced in certain areas. Like on Cicero Street, in that area is heavily Italian. They didn't like black people. They didn't want you over there. They had pockets. Black people, Italians, Mexicans, whites, they were zoned. And you knew not to go in their area. And you knew, even though Chicago, downtown Chicago was a melting pot, you knew goddamn well not to go to Chicago and act the damn fool downtown Chicago. Because you know what? Your ass would be beat down by the police officer. They wasn't tolerating that stuff. And Chicago was a very beautiful place to visit, even though it had like the rough spots, and we never stayed in the projects, even though they had the rough spots, like the projects and all that stuff. We knew not to go downtown and act the damn fool. And I'm not condoning police violence, but come on now. When is enough is enough. And yeah, they're gonna have to get police, the National Guard. Let me show you guys this right quick, because I thought this was horrible. This is just like really ridiculous.
Deal!
And they burning this car. It was a person in this. They pulled this person out, apparently.
Deal! Deal!
And they pulled this. Look at this shit. This don't even make no sense. Anyway, yeah. So when are they gonna say enough is enough? They keep on electing officials that saying more social programs. How many social programs are you gonna get? How are you gonna get these teens to go to these social programs? They're not. They need like one of those scared straight type of things in Chicago. Because to me, that does not make any sense. This does not make any sense. And then you have the mayor acting like, oh, we shouldn't villainize the kids. These kids are, or demonize these kids. The kids are demons. These kids are demons. What are you talking about? Villainize and demonize the kids. They are. It's like the Wild Wild West.
Of Madison and Michigan. Now, we had a news crew on the scene, but they had to move because of safety concerns. I was there a little bit earlier, about an hour and a half ago, and saw police escorting tourists and visitors to their cars in the Millennium Park parking garage. The crowd was trying to get into Millennium Park, but there are checkpoints that are not allowing anyone under the age of 21 who's not with an adult to get in. So they're massing across the street on the other side of Michigan Avenue. I spoke to a woman whose car was smashed by people jumping on the windshield. She says the crowd began beating her husband as he sat in the driver's seat. He's now been sent to Northwestern Memorial Hospital.
They began beating her husband while he was in the driver's seat. You see those ladies being escorted by the police. They're not even doing nothing to the kids. Because the current mayor probably like, oh, leave the kids alone. Don't mess with the kids. Let them vent. Let them do whatever. But they're not even touching the kids. But they letting these, they escorting, tourists or whatever to their car so they could be safe. But they not touching the kids because they don't want that shit on camera. They just allowing them to do whatever.
Avenue. I spoke to a woman whose car was smashed by people jumping on the windshield. She says the crowd began beating her husband as he sat in the driver's seat. He's now been sent to Northwestern Memorial Hospital. I also talked to a woman, a Chicago native, who was appalled by what she saw.
What I see out here is completely ludicrous, to be honest with you. I'm appalled at what I see. I'm from Chicago, and I understand kids having a good time, but it's simply bad parenting.
Kids are not having a good time. That's not a good time. That's just being destructive. When my kid, and I have a 7-year-old, and he likes to be destructive. He likes to tear stuff up. He likes to rip books, poke holes and stuff. He broke some electronics. And now that he's old enough and he has his little bank account and his allowance that I don't allow him to spend, every time he tears something up, I make him pay for it. You're not just going to tear something up. And he's 7. So now he knows, hey, every time I tear something up, I'm going to pay for it. Especially a book. Look, if you don't like reading, give the book to somebody else that maybe will enjoy, or if you don't like that particular book, because I make them read anyway. But if you don't like that particular book, don't tear it up. Give it to somebody else. So even if he doesn't like the book, I make him buy a new one. Even if he doesn't like whatever, if it's somebody else, I make him buy a new one. So now he already knows, hey, if I tear something up, mommy's going to make me buy it. And I sure do. I make him go on Amazon and order the book and give me the money. And he's 7. So if a 7-year-old knows that destructing the property that's not yours, you're going to have to pay for it. How come a teenager doesn't know that?
We have to do better as parents. Our kids should not be out here. Where are their parents at? That's my question.
The situation continues to develop at this hour. As we mentioned, we have a reporter on the scene, but there are some security concerns. Fox 32's Nate Rogers is on Michigan Avenue in a protective position. Nate, can you tell us what you see right now?
Yeah, that's right, Dane. As you just mentioned, we're downtown on Michigan and Randolph. I'm actually probably a block away from a lot of where the chaos has originated. Right now, Chicago police are trying to clear Michigan Avenue, at least from Randolph until maybe 3 or 4 blocks south on Michigan. Very active scene indeed. Hundreds of officers working this investigation. There are reports, unconfirmed by Chicago police, of multiple people shot at Michigan and Washington, also Michigan and Wabash. The Chicago Fire Department, we're told, is here along with paramedics and Chicago SWAT teams, all assisting in this investigation. Now, the chaos here downtown began or erupted just before 8 p.m. Several hundred young people traveling in groups, kids seen jumping barricades into Millennium Park, also jumping on top of cars. Other reports indicated large groups trying to force their way into the Art Institute. This appears to be one of those teen takeovers that we saw last year, publicized widely on social media, attracting.
Did you hear that? Teen takeovers. It was publicized. Last year they had it. They had a problem. So the weather is wrong. This is what I don't understand. Now, this is the adults' fault. The people, the political officials that they already elected. You know that they do this every freaking year. Why wouldn't you put a curfew out? Why wouldn't you put at 6 o'clock, if we see you out without parental supervision, we're going to detain you and put you in a detention center? Why wouldn't they put that out? They knew it was going to be 80 degrees on Sunday or whatever day that, or Saturday. Why wouldn't they already put that out? And if it happens every year, why wouldn't you prepare for it? That's what I don't understand. Why did you wait till it happened? You knew it was going to happen. Oh, just like last year. We seen the same thing like last year that was highly publicized over the internet. And they just let it happen.
Thousands into the downtown area as well as to Chicago area beaches. The teens are seen with their cell phones out, Bluetooth music speakers blasting, dancing while recording videos, hoping that they'll go viral. Now, I'm back out here live really just within the last 10 minutes or so ago. My photographer and I, Raphael, we heard at least 4 gunshots while we were standing at Michigan and Washington. We ran along with another TV news crew just to get to safety. Maybe 5 minutes after that, we heard even more gunshots. And so right now, Chicago police are trying to clear this area. If you can see from where I'm standing right now, gridlock traffic indeed. I mean, Chicago police here in great numbers, along with the Chicago Fire Department.
And you know what? I want to stop him right there. He heard multiple gunshots while just filming, right? Is it legal to carry in Chicago? Is it legal to carry? You know, teens have guns. These teens have guns. So why the hell are you trying to enact gun laws? The teens are carrying the guns illegally. It's like so ridiculous. They try to take away your Second Amendment right because of all these mass shootings. I don't know what the hell. Chicago's not mass shooting. They just randomly shoot at people. But it's not legally registered gun owners. So they try to say, oh, if we get stricter, tougher gun laws, we're going to be able to stop these mass shootings. And maybe so they need to do a psychological test. I agree with that. And, you know, fingerprint, whatever. But you just heard that this guy said, oh, we had several gunshots that we had to move location. And they're talking about teenagers. Teenagers not supposed to have guns. So how you going to stop that? How you going to get the guns off the street? It has nothing to do with the laws. It has everything with enforcement. It has nothing to do with your Second Amendment, but it has everything to do with them trying to avoid, oh, we need to take away the guns. No, legal gun carriers are not randomly shooting at people.
Paramedics, we understand that SWAT teams are here as well. A lot of folks are being rerouted to nearby public transportation just so they can get home. We also have seen police trying to escort tourists back into their hotels. Chicago police working right now to get a handle on all of this. We haven't received any updated information on if there have been any victims associated with any of this. That is the latest here in downtown Chicago. Nate Rogers.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that they're saying that they need more gun laws or more gun safeties, gun restriction, and the people that's causing all the trouble, it shouldn't have guns anyway. They're teenagers. Hanging AZ said cops need paddy wagons and round up kids that can grab for curfew violations. Yeah. I mean, back in the day, that's what they did. I'm finna start at the top of this chat, you guys. I'm trying to get through most of them. Frank, good morning to you. Joseph, good morning to you. Mike German, good morning to you. Mike German said this been brewing for years. This problem has been brewing for years and like literally decades. It has. It's been a problem. Before I started going to the other video, when me and my sister was debating, she did ask me, what did I feel, what would change this type of environment or this type of behavior? Hey, we need to go back to the family unit. the family nucleus. Stop having all these illegitimate kids around and get married before y'all start having kids. Men don't like a lot of craziness. Most men that I know, they live a structured life. They're not everywhere. If you have 2-parent home, a person is taking care of the home, and then the other person is going out to make the money, and it's usually the man. The woman is usually at home taking care of all whatever. You know, the man brings home the bacon. And I went through this whole spiel with my sister. I said, you cannot deny, if we grew up in a 2-parent home, our lives would be totally different. I'm the fortunate out of all my siblings. Really, I am. But I probably would have been a doctor. I became an engineer later on in life, but I probably would have been a doctor. And as a kid, I used to think I was going to be like an astronaut or something. But if I would have grew up in a 2-parent home, maybe a stable environment, maybe that would have been so. But that didn't happen. So I had to make it for myself, right? So, and growing up, my mom, she did talk about getting married and stuff like that. But she always used to say, you're going to have to be able to take care of yourself. The sentiment carried in the Black community, when you hear your mothers talking to their daughters, is you're going to have to take care of yourself, get your education. Even some men tell their kids this, their daughters this, get your education, be able to take care of yourself. Don't depend on a man. That's the sentiment in the Black community. And if when I was in school, and if I go back to the job that I went to as an engineer, most of the Black engineers were not married. Probably all of them. I think I was like the only one. And I was like just getting married. But you know what all the white engineers were? And especially the women. They were married. They were married to another engineer or someone. Because in the white community, they stress family. They kind of getting away from that now. But they stress family. And if I go online and look up all the engineers that I work with, Black and white ones, the Black ones probably still unmarried, but the white ones are probably still with their spouse and got a few kids and doing fine. Got two incomes, making well over, both of them making well over 6 figures. Some of them stepped away from being in the field, engineering field, but they got a lot of money saved up, so they were able to. But they didn't go to college to say, oh, I'm just going to get my education. No, these white ladies went to college and they were smart. They found them a man and married them and stayed together. Now, you could disagree what I'm saying if you want to, but that's what white people do versus Black folks. Black folks, we thinking, oh, we don't need no man. Oh, yes, you do. I know I need my man. Ain't no woman, ain't nobody gonna tell me about my man. No. But that is the fundamental difference. How can you get rid of this shit? This stuff that we're looking at today, this craziness. How can you get rid of it? You could get rid of it by getting married and staying together. And so, but now it's a badge of honor to be a single woman, not single woman, but a single baby mama. But now they're trying to take away, oh, you don't need no kids, girl. So now you're gonna have all these old ladies. Mark my word, all my girlfriends that's like 50, you know, I got some girlfriends that's 50 or in their early mid early mid to 50s, 40s to 50s, and they never been married, never had kids. And to me, that's like, you ain't never been married, you never had kids. So when you get 60, 70, 80, usually women live longer than men, who you gonna depend on? You just gonna be in this home or whatever and have no type of friends or family? You're not gonna have any love in your life? That to me, that doesn't make any sense. So don't smoke or drink the Kool-Aid saying you could be an independent woman and have all this financial success or a boss lady or whatever. And I'm all those things, a boss lady. I have my own business. I'm all those things, but none of those things come before my family. I knew at a young age that I wanted to have a family. I already knew that, because I don't think God will make this big old world with all these people for you to grow up and be by yourself. I don't believe that. So don't smoke the Kool-Aid, you guys, or drink the Kool-Aid. Find somebody that you love and care about, and get married and create babies. And stay together. Work out your differences. Some people break up for stupid stuff. I know I'm on this rant, but that's what's going to change this. We got to create communities again. So Johnson, this is the story I got up now. Let me see. Make sure y'all can see it. I don't know why it's doing that. But anyway, Johnson is a mayor-elect and a former union organizer. This is the current the mayor-elect in Chicago, who is called a new taxes and more social programs in Chicago. So he's going to do the same. I don't know what Lightfoot was doing, but I know she defunded the police, and they're calling for more social programs. The situation began Saturday when a crowd of more than 100 rowdy teenagers turned violent. They turned violent, and it's okay. In some states, and even in Chicago, if you commit an act of violence, they charge you as an adult. So what's the problem? In total, 15 people were arrested, 9 adults and 6 children. So you had adults out there with them acting a damn fool. So, but they didn't say were they 18 or whatever. Despite of the outrage over the violence and destruction, Johnson said he thinks that the only path forward is to work together and give kids safer spaces. Lord have mercy. What are you talking about, kids safer? These are the kids that's creating dangerous spaces. These kids. These are the kids that need safer spaces. They at home because they're scared. Our city must work together to create spaces for youth to gather safely and responsibly under guidance and supervision. At 15, you shouldn't need supervision or guidance. You should be on the path like, oh, I'm going to go out with my friends and have fun. I'm going to go see go to the art institute. We're going to go eat, blah, blah, blah. Maybe take some silly pictures, get on Instagram and have fun. But no, these kids are the ones that's creating violent spaces or dangerous spaces. So what are you going to do with them? The mayor-elect response did not go over well on the social media, with hundreds calling him and others out. You elect that. Look, the mayor-elect response did not go over well on social media, with hundreds calling him and others out for what they say is a city on the brink of ruin. Chicago, once a beautiful city, but it's going down. It's going down the drain. People are afraid to invest. I just did a video that Walmart is divesting in the community because they tired of y'all shit. They tired of y'all stealing their stuff. So even the people is giving him crap on social media, but yet you guys elect him. Stop electing people because they black. Number one, that is so. This is so retarded. Black folks will elect people because they black and they Democrat or progressive. I don't even think Democrat should even be the thing anymore. They should get rid of that whole party, progressive party, the progressive Dems. That's what they should call them, because Democrat no longer exists. Now here is the city. Now here in this city is safe, said another. Okay. No, oh, nowhere. I'm sorry. Now here. I'm sorry. Nowhere in this city is safe. Apparently, Chicago decided it has not yet hit rock bottom. So one person wrote that this is a person tweeted. Apparently, Chicago decided it hasn't hit rock bottom yet. When they travel in packs so large, there is no fear of repercussions. Another world. That is true. When there are no repercussions, why would anyone listen to authority? Because they don't have any repercussions. You could do whatever the hell you want to do. Just keep doing what they are doing because they don't fear any type of punishment, wrote one on a Twitter user. Saturday incident is one of many which are being dubbed teen trends. On Friday, a 14-year-old boy was shot at another gathering near 31st Avenue Beach. So now they're showing all these crazy stuff people doing on Twitter. You know, they burning down cars. They just basically rioting. I'm surprised they didn't loot any businesses. During the chaos Saturday night, a bystander was attacked while in the driver's seat of the car by a rowdy teenager and had been taken to the hospital. That's what we just learned that. Look at this crap. All these kids gathering around, jumping on this car. And they think it's funny. And they will get mad at the driver if he just plow those kids over. They would get mad. Like, you could have just stayed in your car. They would get mad at that guy or a girl or whoever was driving. Mike German said that's not rioting, it's peaceful protesting, I guess. So there you have it, folks. Chicago is on brink of collapse. Well, I think it's already collapsed. I like I said, I feel some type of way for Chicago because I'm from Chicago originally. I was just talking to my dad. He has to go to Northwest Hospital today because his primary care physician is in Northwest Hospital. That's like right around the corner from where they was acting a damn fool off of Washington Street. So, you know, it's always a fear or a concern for safety, especially when you're elderly. and you don't have people to look out for you, you know, or even if you do, maybe you just going, if you're able to get around and you're elderly, you just going about your day, and then you run into mass chaos with some teenage kids and they do something to you, like that guy that they beat up in the car. To me, it's just ridiculous. So Chicago it's not gonna, only way Chicago's gonna get well if they elect the mayor that doesn't take their crap. That's the only way that Chicago's going to get out the mess that they're in. And as far as for the Black community, and that's what all Black communities across the United States, we need to change our tone, our thinking about relationship. It's not a badge of honor to have a baby and you don't got no damn daddy around. That's not a badge of honor. So when we get out that mindset, stop having all these kids and without no baby daddy and all that stuff, stop doing that, because it's not cute. That's the only way we're gonna get it. And family, and being family oriented and sticking together no matter what. That's the only way we're gonna get out of this. So later on, I might go online because there's some things I want to talk about with the guy, the Cash App guy. He was killed by another executive. And San Francisco is going through the same crap that Chicago is. And these are a lot of Democratic ran cities. I get a lot of hate when I talk about Democrats because I grew up in a Democratic family, because Democrats supposed to be the family or the policy or the political party for Black folks. And I tell you, the last few years, I just had a wide, I became woke and realized Democrats are not for Black people. Matter of fact, that's the racist party. We talking about race. That's the racist party. That's the race bait party. They make everything about race. They make everything that happened to you is because of white supremacy. And we need to get out of that, people. Everything that happens to us is not because of white supremacy. And I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. But it does. But white supremacy didn't make you have a baby without getting married. White supremacy didn't make you steal this stuff. Has nothing to do with white supremacy. White supremacy don't make you smoke weed and not do nothing with your life. That has nothing to do with white supremacy. That's everything to do with you. Going to the library is free. Hey, you can get free education on YouTube. You want to learn something, you get free education on YouTube. So stuff that happens to us as a people has nothing to do with white supremacy. 98 or 99% of the time is more likely about the actions that you took on yourself. So what was I getting at? Yeah, I might get back online and talk about the guy that got killed, the Cash App guy. Like I said, he got killed by another executive. And San Francisco they've been going through a lot of crap that Chicago and all these other Democratic ran cities. So stay tuned for that. And you guys, I'm sending all my good to you, and I will talk to you soon.